All right, good evening and welcome to the first North Clackamas School District Board of Directors meeting of the 2026 calendar year. We are going to call to order on this Thursday, January 15th at 6:31 p.m. And we do have a quorum. At this time, I would like to turn it over to our board secretary, Donna Collingwood.
Good evening. As January is Board Appreciation Month, I'd like to take the moment on behalf of nearly 17,000 students and 2,500 staff members of the school district to express our sincere appreciation and gratitude for each of you. I have the opportunity to see up close just how invaluable your service and hard work is. We also would like to invite our community to join us in recognizing your dedication to ensuring our students' success. And we have a small gift of appreciation just to say thank you for all you do. Thank you.
All right, thank you. And I don't know if board directors have noticed, but we've all been made into like a superhero cartoonish thing. So when it's your turn, be sure and check because it should be online. So they're quite creative out of our communications department. Once again, topping themselves, giving their appreciation to the board. Directors, do you have any comments or anything you'd like to say? Director Kemp?
Just thank you.
Yeah, he was the first meme. So I did notice that. And just thank you for all that you do, Donna, and all of the staff that really is the backbone that makes the board meetings run so well, feeds us when we're on the run, makes sure we've got reservations for things that we forgot to say we were going to. So truly, we have a team of people that make it look this easy, and we couldn't do it without you. So we appreciate it. And community comments. There are no community members signed up to provide comments this evening. So next we will have our native land acknowledgement, and we have a video with our students to share.
We acknowledge the land on which we sit, in which we call the North Clackamas School District, rest on the traditional and indigenous lands and village sites of the native peoples of the Kalapuya, Chinook, Molalla, and the Clackamas.
We take this opportunity to offer gratitude for the ability to learn
and work and be a community on this land.
And we offer thanks to the original caretakers of this region.
We recognize the historic policies of colonization, genocide, relocation, and assimilation
that affected the indigenous and native families,
both past and present,
and that will affect those in the future.
And honor the resilience and revitalization of our indigenous and native communities.
We pay our respects to the elders, both past and present, who have been the stewards of this land throughout the generations.
And thank you. And again, we'd like to thank our North Clackamas School District students for that video. And board members, would you please stand? And Director Olson, would you please lead the Pledge of Allegiance to this evening?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you all. And next on our agenda is our consent agenda. And just as a reminder, we can simply say that the consent agenda is as it is posted in our board book. We do not need to read all of the items again. But in the board packet, you will find our consent agenda for this evening with items A and B. Do we have a motion? Not everybody at once. We need a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Chair, I move to approve the consent agenda.
Thank you, Director Wachter. Do we have a second? And then Director Tamtring. So we have a first by Director Wachter and a second by Director Tamtring that we are going to vote and vote on the motion. So all those in favor of approving our consent agenda, aye? Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? No? Excellent. The motion passes with a vote of 7-0. Did we hear from Director McVeigh?
Yeah, I said aye.
Okay. All right. Next on the agenda is the North Clackamas Education Association's featured educator. I welcome NCEA Representative Kim Christner. Welcome. If you could just push that, yeah, we need the green button on and then we'll all be able to hear.
Is that better? Is that?
Yeah, it's on.
Okay. Good evening, members of the board and superintendent. My name is Kim Christner and I'm a teacher at Kennedy Elementary. I'm here tonight to celebrate my colleague Sheila Sanger, who is being honored as this month's North Clackamas featured educator. Sheila has spent decades mastering her craft. She's the teacher you hope your child gets. She builds community, she deepens thinking, and she closes gaps, not because a checklist told her to, but because she knows her students, their strengths, their challenges, and their stories. She is the best of us. Sheila has been an advocate for both students and staff her entire career. Recently, she has selflessly and bravely given us the gift of revealing some hard truths about what it is like currently to be a teacher in our district. With the utmost respect for colleagues and students, as well as a solution-focused mindset, Sheila has expressed to district leadership and the board a clear picture of the sheer volume of what this district expects a single human to deliver. Let me be clear. This is not an individual teacher failure, nor a building level failure. This is not an issue of lacking time management skills, nor a misunderstanding of what it means to be a proficient teacher. This is a resource and capacity issue. Neither teachers nor principals can manufacture the time and capacity needed to meet every expectation and district requirement, even if it is a research-based, universally agreed upon great idea. School leadership are treading water along with us as we navigate the avalanche of new curricula, toggle endlessly between new platforms, and walk on eggshells as we wait for the next compliance check. We have traded the heartbeat of a classroom for a checklist that never ends. We don't need a wellness app or more sessions with a therapist through the EAP. We need leadership to pick a lane. I support Sheila in her request to look at the impossible list of requests imposed on NCSD teachers. While we feel supported in our building by our administrator and coach, Sheila and many on our staff do not feel that same support from the district. Let's support truly amazing teachers like Sheila by ensuring the job we've defined is a job that can actually be done. Thank you.
Thank you. Welcome.
Thank you. Good evening, members of the board. I am very honored by this recognition, but I too would like to use my time to speak on behalf of the many, many elementary teachers in our district that feel the same way. We are tired, and we need you to hear this. I sent a letter of concern a few months ago, and the very disappointing reply that I received is why teachers are feeling unheard. So I'm going to say it again because we cannot continue to pour from an empty cup. There is a major disconnect from what the district considers support and what teachers consider support. Support is not new initiatives or training slideshows or endless data sheets. We do not need more coaching on how to manage this workload. We need the workload to be lightened. We need this administration to give us real hands-on help and support because we can't do it all. So let me give you a few real-world concrete examples. We often do not have enough subs in our building, and the burden falls on teachers where we lose our prep time. Real support would have district-level staff assigned to sub in classrooms, working with us, getting a better understanding of the demands that they are placing on teachers, and understand the realities of the classroom, not the theories. Many of us are managing classes of over 30 students with complex behavioral and emotional and academic needs with little or no help. Real support would have district specialists leading small group interventions or guided reading groups within the classroom rather than coaching teachers on how to do it. And because we elementary teachers teach every subject to every student every day, the most valuable resource to us is time. Real support would be canceling these non-essential staff meetings or the occasional PLCs or the endless data forms that do not impact our instruction. Give that time back to teachers and trust that we are professionals. We do not need to be micromanaged. We will set higher standards for ourselves than anyone else. We are tired of pretending that this impossible workload is manageable. You cannot keep asking teachers to do more with less and expect better results. As a school board, I hope that you will hold this administration accountable to the real support that we have been screaming for. For everyone else, if you would like to see a compilation of all of our concerns, you can go to tinyurl.com/NCSD teachers. Thank you, board. Is there anything you'd like to say?
All right, thank you. Directors, do you have any comments? All right, thank you so much.
Thank you for hearing me.
Thank you. All right, next on our agenda is the Clackamas Education Service District Local Service Plan. So I welcome Superintendent Shay James, who will introduce our guests.
Thank you. We are fortunate this evening to have my colleague, Superintendent Larry Didway from the CSD, to talk with you about the local service plan. So before you start, I just want to say thank you for your partnership and your collaboration with you and your board and everything that you do for our school district, but also the 10 school districts across Clackamas County. So thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you. Again, Larry Didway, Superintendent for Clackamas CSD, and I don't really feel like a guest here, actually. So, but I'm very glad to be here, and it's great to see everyone here tonight. I am here with a couple board members behind me, if you would wave. Linda Brown is our chair, and she is an at-large board member, and also Len Mills, who represents this district. They're both here with me tonight. This is our annual meeting when we come and share with you our plan, known as the Local Service Plan, which is really talking about our collaboration with all 10 of our school districts across the county for the coming school year, 26-27. But before I talk about that, I do want to express some appreciation to a few folks, beginning with your superintendent, Dr. Shay James, who is a very valued member of our regional superintendents group that meets regularly to discuss and share information and collaboratively address challenges that we are facing. Her colleagues and I deeply appreciate her for her thoughtful insights and her partnership, so thank you. Also want to say thank you to your board chair, Gina Benaloga, who is serving on and has chaired the Clackamas CSD Budget Committee in 2025. Thank you very much. And we very much appreciate your service, and we also hope that you'll continue next year. So, and then I also want to point out you received a packet that has a number of documents, but the first one I'm going to talk about is this one here. It looks like this. It's the local service plan. And if you look on pages 10 and 11 of that local service plan, it calls out several North Clackamas School District professionals who meet regularly with their regional colleagues and advisory groups that are facilitated by Clackamas CSD. And excuse me, we want to definitely express our sincere appreciation to them for their commitment and for their collaborative work with their peers across the county. And then last but not least, we want to acknowledge that it is, in fact, a School Board Appreciation Month. And we want to say a deep thank you to you. We're grateful for your leadership, your dedication, and your volunteer service. And you do that on behalf of the youth of this community, but really for all of public education. And we definitely are grateful for your service and time. As a token of our appreciation, we did bring a set of note cards that feature artwork from the Clackamas CSD Regional Art Show in 2025. And again, we very much appreciate your partnership. So we brought 3 documents. We're going to talk about the one that's here for your review and approval, and that's the local service plan first. A couple notes about that. We create that annually. That's required by law in Oregon, and it covers all of the services that the ESD will provide to local service or local school districts in the coming fiscal year. Our district advisory teams that we looked at there begin by providing input on that plan, and that begins to shape the development for the next year. That plan is developed and then approved by our regional superintendents, and then it goes to the Clackamas ESD board for approval before it comes here and to our other local boards for your approval as well. It reflects a very productive partnership between Clackamas ESD and all of the school districts that we do serve. It has a comprehensive review of those services, beginning with resolution services, and those are services that are available to all of school districts and are paid for out of state school fund dollars that come to the ESD. That includes specific areas outlined in statute, special education, technology and data, teaching and learning, and this year, we are also providing some legislative advocacy support, as well as some direct revenue that comes back to the school district and can be applied to ESD services of your choice. It also covers some contract and grant services that are paid for by multiple state and federal resources, and then some directly by districts who are actually requesting them. That includes areas like early learning, student support services, and many special education, technology, and teaching and learning services. Again, the LSP has been approved by our Clackamas Chief Administrators Council, and that includes all 10 of the superintendents that represent our school districts and the president of Clackamas Community College and the Clackamas ESD Board of Directors, and it's here for your review and approval. We brought two other documents. The first one I want you to take a look at is this North Clackamas School District Fiscal Year Review. And that's a detailed report for your district that indicates the overall value of services that are delivered by Clackamas ESD. And it highlights some of the key services that we've made available. Your print packet includes a copy for each of the other school districts, just for your information as well. But I would call out a couple highlights for North Clackamas, beginning with it does cover more than $21.8 million in value of total services for the year. And that's an increase of $1.2 million from the previous year. And it also included nearly $4.6 million of revenue that was funneled directly back to the district, and that's up about $400,000 from the previous year. We hope that the format of that provides more context for the ways North Clackamas and Clackamas ESD partner with each other and serve students and educators and families. And we would really welcome your feedback if there is anything we could do to make that report even more useful to you in the future. And again, that's just information. The next document is the Clackamas ESD Annual Report. This year it's called Helping Hands. And that covers roughly the period from the fall of 2024 through fall of 2025. And it really just uses data and storytelling to provide more information and texture to what Clackamas ESD does and the impact that we have in our region. And we hope that it is also useful to you. And we would welcome your feedback, especially if you have anything you would like to see featured in future reports. And with that, I'll pause to see if you have any questions that I can answer.
All right, thank you. Directors, are there any comments or questions? Online, we have two directors online. All right, well, I do want to say thank you. Their budget process is a well-oiled machine. It's they have it down pat. And for those of you, I knew how much ESD did for early childhood as a preschool provider for 26 years. I knew how much Clackamas ESD did. But when you get in there and look at the budget, it is truly amazing the line items that they have, that they are helping with, they're supporting, and they're taking care of the districts and the schools in our area. So truly invaluable service. And as always, welcome. ESD is welcome here at any time, but we love to have the report. And I appreciate all the support of your board of directors and of course your staff. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
And I believe this is coming up for a vote at a future meeting. Yeah. All right, excellent. Yeah. Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you very much. We appreciate the partnership. Thanks.
Thank you. And a real quick note, it is a 40-page report that is in the board book. But however, if you have a minute, there are several North Clackamas School District student artwork that is highlighted in that 40-page report. So it's worth a look through to see all the talented kids, not only just in North Clackamas, but in Clackamas County as a whole. There's some really wonderfully talented artists that are featured in that report if you have a moment. All right, so next on our agenda is Vocera, Wireless Communication Program Update. So I welcome Chief of Operations, Teresa Neff Webster, who will introduce our guests.
Good evening, Board. Thank you for having us. I am joined with David Cruz, our Executive Director of Operations, and Jessica Sun, who's been with the district for many, many years, and her current iteration is with the Operations Coordinator with the district. And we are excited to talk to you about the Vocera program and where we are and where we are going with it. So we always start and ground ourselves with our strategic points. And when we think about strategic points for operations, we really focus on the resource and service strategic point, thinking about how we are maximizing our resources at the district level. And in particular, there's a subcategory of this point around systems that are creating clear communication spaces for our staff in order to ensure that they are have all the tools needed to be productive and efficient in their day-to-day activities. So what we'll be talking about this evening is where the pilot program is with Vocera. What lessons have we learned so far in the first 6 months, what the rollout plan is looking like, and then the timeline moving forward. I'm going to hand it over to Jessica to walk us through the bulk of the conversation, but I wanted to ground you in what we look at as our metrics of success when it comes to Vocera, and they're threefold. One is Vocera are we using Vocera when it comes to our emergency response to really ensure that our response times are shortened so that at a district level, when there are heightened emergency situations, we real-time can support the schools as needed. Second, we're looking at our communication efficiency. Are we witnessing staff using Vocera appropriately and really sharing their need to talk to each other one-on-one and in groups and in broadcasts? And also, are they self-reporting from surveys, how they are feeling about being able to communicate more efficiently with one another? And then the last metric that we're looking at is our safety consistency. Is Vocera really supporting us, making sure that all of our staff are compliant with our safety protocols and procedures? And David will touch base on these metrics at the end of our presentation to talk about where we think the pilot is so far and what we'll be looking for in data points moving forward. But with that, I'm going to hand it over to Jessica to talk you through how we're doing so far.
Thank you. So our original goal was to launch at 6 pilot schools, and our goal for the launch was to really learn about the system and learn how it works in schools. And we have successfully launched at all 6 of our schools: Linwood Sojourner, Scouters Mountain, Happy Valley Elementary, Oak Grove, Happy Valley Middle, and Rao. In addition, we've also added several departments. Our incident response group has all been brought online, our facility operations, district nutrition services, transportation, our behavior support team, and our PTs and OTs, nurses, our technology department, and our care sites. All of those weren't part of our original pilot, but as we started learning more and more about the device, it became more relevant for these departments in particular so that we could support different operational pieces throughout our district as well as safety measures. So we've really come quite further than what we had planned. We've overall distributed 491 devices. So when you're thinking about the numbers that I'm going to be sharing with you, remember we have 491 devices out. We have kind of gone through an implementation cycle. At each school, we launched one a week, and we were going through, watching the data, making sure folks knew how to use it, getting feedback, conducting training, and then gathering more and more feedback, and then making tweaks and changes as we went. The blue graph here shows our system usage by hour for an entire week. So you can see that it really peaks up in the morning as folks are getting online, trying to figure out what's going on for the day, and then it goes out all the way through 11 p.m. Our evening custodians have, they've really actually quite liked the device. I thought it would be a hard sell, but they have mentioned specifically how they have felt like that nobody would know if they got hurt, but they had a device now that they can use it in an emergency. So that's been really great to see. So all the way from about 6 a.m. to 11 p.m. our devices are being used. This kind of shows the different ways that our devices are used. This was from a launch week for Rao Middle School. So for the entire district, each day we have about almost 2,000 calls that are done user to user. And again, we only have 491 devices out there. You'll notice that there were 18 panic broadcasts. That's part of our training piece, so that's not an actual panic broadcast, but it is part of our protocol to share with the teams that we're, as we're launching, what will actually happen if you push the panic button, and David will go more into that as to what we're using that for. But that's part of our process to make sure that folks know exactly what it is, and so that they feel very comfortable with the protocol. We've had some rounding where we've heard from staff that have been using it about how it's enhancing their day. One of the things people have talked about is instant communication. They don't have to go and wander and look for someone. They just are able to connect with people right away. We have quite a few folks who are never near a computer. And so the idea of sending a quick email is not really a viable solution for communication. So this has been able to give them some opportunities. The other thing that our special education staff members and our office staff have talked a lot about is preserving student dignity and privacy with these devices. On a walkie-talkie, it feels very public. Everybody can hear, whereas with this device, you can just call the one person that you need to talk about a situation. Staff that we've been working with schools have overall shared that they do feel like this is a step in the right direction to support safety in our buildings, which has been really great to hear. In one of our elementary schools, the day after we launched, I got a call from an elementary teacher saying, "Oh my goodness, I just used the device. I had a student who was having a medical issue and I was able to stay with them instead of running over to call the phone or send a third grader to the office to go get help." And so she felt very supported by having the device and being able to support her student while she was getting the help that she needed. We, of course, have had some challenges and some learning as we've gone through. We've learned, I have no idea how much I would learn about Wi-Fi with this position. So thank you, Shay, for this opportunity. And I have said things like, that's all I know about Wi-Fi. Don't ask more questions. But I'm learning every day. We've enhanced some of our protocols and we've made some adjustments with our IT team. The more we use this device, we are learning more opportunities for things that we could use it for, or tweaks and changes. So we've been adjusting, and so I've been really grateful for the feedback that our teams have been giving us that have already launched.
And before I jump into the emergency response piece, the one piece I'll share is Jessica was talking about our learnings or our challenges. One, I have to say, as with any technology, you think, oh, it's going to be easy. We're just going to plug and play and away it goes. But it's been a lot more than that. One, it has forced us, when we're looking at our emergency processes, we all believe in the continuous improvement process, but it forced us to go through and re-examine how we respond, who's notified when in those emergencies. And as a result, and one of the things I'll get to in a second, it really has had an impact when we have incidents come up within the district and how people learn and find out about those and are able to respond. Talking about the panic button specifically in our emergency response, one of the things that we decided to do, the panic button, when I'm an individual at a building level, if I press my panic button, it immediately notifies the building administrator and certain select individuals within that building, who then can determine what is appropriate, what's going on. Is it a medical emergency? For instance, I think Jessica, with her repeated trainings, I think it's, I need an EpiPen, I've got a student that's in a situation. And so it's not necessarily something that's that worst case scenario that we often talk about, but it's able to, again, get that staff member and that student the assistance they need faster and in a more effective manner than if they were to have to utilize a landline or try and find somebody, literally having to leave the room to go get assistance. The other thing that we're getting is we have our designated district responders who then immediately get a notification, and we get that. We can immediately know what's going on in the building versus waiting for the folks, the principal or whoever it may be in the building, responding to the situation as they need to, then trying to connect with somebody here at the district office to inform us so that we can then assess and determine how we need to respond. We get that notification immediately from the school, again, because they're wearing the device, because it's hands-free. They're immediately communicating with us and we have that information. And it's critical. And so one of the pieces, and I'm going to go the wrong way. There we go. Talking about our metrics, and one thing, the first area I'll talk about, and I kind of hinted at a second ago, our emergency response time. And we've seen a huge difference and huge drop in the amount of time it takes us to get the right folks, whether it's our immediate responders or getting folks such as Shay, Tiffany, Michelle, our district folks, notification of what's going on, whether it's an emergency or, a critical nature, or if it's just something going on at a school. So for instance, this morning we had a call at one of our schools for a staff member that needed medical assistance, so they had to call 911 for the staff member. We got that information immediately through our protocols, and we all knew what was going on. I didn't have to wait. In the past, it would have been, I would have found out about it when I got to the email, because we'd send out an email notification to advise folks. Now I'm getting a notification on my device and I know immediately. And I can determine, or we can determine, what resources, if any, are needed to deploy to the school. And so that's been a huge improvement for us. Jessica mentioned looking at communication efficiency. We'll continue to track that and get a better feel for what that is. But as you saw with the number of communications and uses on a daily basis, our staff are finding it beneficial and more efficient for them just with some of their daily work, contacting a colleague, or if I'm, for instance, one of our biggest groups that have really jumped on board. I think Jessica could share with you details about our facilities team that I thought would be just like, nope, that's technology, I want to do my thing. They embraced it. Their ability to walk into a building, use the device to immediately find the custodian or whoever they need to find, again, makes their job easier, is allowing them to move faster. So that's a huge benefit to us. And then again, the safety, the consistency of our procedures, huge improvements in our processes. And again, we're learning and we're going to continue to refine over the next few months with the pilot project, but we're already seeing that we're responding in a more consistent manner and in a much faster manner than what we have in the past.
And then just to end on where we're going. So we're currently in our phase 1 pilot phase, and we're going to be moving into full expansion next school year. So we've been doing one school at a time. We'll continue that. We find that it's the best way to have a tailored training that Jessica can have with every staff, and each school is different, each staff is different, they meet at different times, so one at a time is the way forward. And we will then be doing full implementation, which means that every staff member at every building will be online with Vocera at the end of our school year, which is spring 2027. And then we will be continuing this continuous improvement cycle. We'll be doing surveys, we'll be doing on-site checks, we'll be doing rounding, because it is an evolving tool for our school district, and we can anticipate it will be evolving for a bit. So we'll just continue to check in and make sure that we are using it efficiently and effectively. And with that, we are happy to answer any questions that anyone may have. Thank you for the time.
Thank you for the presentation. Directors, do we have any questions? Director Dobson.
Thank you, Chair. Well, so my question isn't directly Vocera related, because I know the device doesn't reach the outer limits of the school properties. Is that correct? So how's the integration going, is my question, between the Vocera device and I think you still have to use walkie-talkies when we're in the exterior of the buildings?
Yeah, so currently on the exterior of the buildings, they are having to continue to use the walkie-talkies. So there is that challenge, if you will, and that's kind of where we were to begin with. And so where we are still seeing some improvement, for instance, so when they use a walkie to reach out to the office if there's, say, for instance, an incident on a playground. That still has to be the walkie, but then the office folks are then able to communicate out, whether it's to the district office or within their building using their devices. But yeah, it's a very valid point that right now it depends on the building. Some buildings, I joke, when I leave this building, I'll be halfway out the door and I'll hear it cut off because that's the limit of our Wi-Fi. I get to the end of our parking lot, I'm not even on Lake Road yet, and I've already picked up and logged back into technology. I don't know why their Wi-Fi is so much better than ours, but just saying.
Don't ask me that question. I don't know that much about Wi-Fi.
But yeah, so that is a very important point, Director, and the fact that as we move forward, we'll very much want to be able to expand that Wi-Fi capacity.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Any other questions or comments? Director Kemp?
Yeah, on the expansion, is there a timeline or is this after the full implementation?
In regards to the expansion of Wi-Fi outside?
Yeah.
That's something that we're looking at from a bond, a capital bond construction project that would have to go through that process.
Okay.
All right, are there any other questions or comments? I just had one quick comment. David, you mentioned that the district staff gets a notification and when the panic button is used or when the buttons are used. How are you, can you explain a little bit about what are you getting? Are you listening to the conversation in real time? Are you getting transcripts? How is that differing from phone calls and emails?
So when the notification comes to our district level responders, and we've got a small group that are in that group, I think we've got 5 people in that group right now. And we literally, when that device is triggered, we hear what is going on in that room. So that device, and Jessica will talk to folks about the cone with the device and how it reads up. When they hit their device, that cone switches from listening up to listening out and up. So you can hear what's going on in the room. So for instance, if the principal gets that panic or that notification, that staff member can again communicate to them immediately. The principal can listen, know what's going on in that area. When it's coming to us at the district level, we truly do hear what's going on where that device is activated.
And just to add to that, it could be that the principal is saying, wanted to let you know this incident happened at this time, I need support to come. Or it could be that they don't feel safe and we just will hear what's happening and determine if we are needed to activate our protocols based on that.
All right, that's excellent. Thank you. Thank you for that. Yes, Director Tamtring.
I just wanted to ask, I know, with technology, like our phones, they have to be updated constantly. People want the new ones. Is this the same kind of thing where this is gonna, or is there a lot of upgrades for this, or do you know what I mean? Like a new version of
So part of our contract with Stryker, who is the parent who owns Vocera, is that they do back-end software updates that go to the devices. We will not update the devices themselves. Is that helpful? Okay.
All right, thank you. Anyone else have a question? All right, Director Kemp.
On the picture and even what's on the screen here, the device on the left, is that like a key fob device?
That's a good question. So what we all have is called the Smart Badge, which is that on the right. And what is pictured is called a mini badge. And we actually started using the mini badges, but we have been upgraded through no cost to what is called a sync badge that looks exactly like the Smart Badge. It's a little thinner. And so most of our staff will actually have that. So they'll have something that's similar to what a Smart Badge looks like and is able to receive messages. Yes, text messages.
So the sync badge will text messages as well as verbal.
So I take it, it just receives the message. You can't do anything with sending anything, is
You
that right?
you can call on it or broadcast from it, but you can't send a text message from that one.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
All right, thank you. Any other questions or comments? All right, thank you so much for the update. We appreciate it. Thank you. Next on the agenda is charter school renewal request discussion. I welcome Executive Director of Multiple Pathways and Athletics, Ryan Richardson, who will introduce our guests.
I'm going to start by hitting my do not disturb, which is another feature on our Voceras. How's that for a transition? Yes. Well, good evening. This evening, I'm bringing forward a discussion item and public hearing related to Milwaukee Academy of the Arts' request to renew its charter with North Clackamas Schools. This presentation will be in 3 parts. So I'll begin with some overview information regarding the charter renewal process. Principal Mayor and the Milwaukee Academy of Arts team will follow up and provide some school-specific information for you. And then we'll conclude with next steps. And then following this item, immediately thereafter, the chair will hold a public hearing for any public comment on this charter renewal request. Excellent. So one of the North Clackamas School District strategic points right at our student experience. Students are at the heart of the North Clackamas schools, where artists, scientists, teachers, athletes, and community leaders emerge. To this end, the North Clackamas schools has a portfolio of educational options as students move through the system. We have 4 charter schools that we sponsor here in North Clackamas School District: the Milwaukee Academy of the Arts, Clackamas Middle College, Clackamas Web Academy, and Cascade Heights. Charter schools are free public education. They're governed by the Oregon state law and authorized by an educational institution. In the case of the 4 schools that I mentioned, North Clackamas School District is the sponsoring district. And the process for renewing the charter is outlined in an attachment in your board packets. So the renewal process is a 2-phase process with prescribed procedures and timelines in the board policy. We're going to focus on the first phase tonight. The first phase includes Milwaukee Academy of the Arts requesting renewal. That was done on December 19th. The superintendent's recommendation for renewal or non-renewal and the board action on renewal or non-renewal then follows. And then once all that occurs, if the charter is renewed, a second set of procedures moves into a motion to establish a new charter contract. That's phase 2. So again, tonight, we're going to focus on phase 1, which is a discussion on the renewal or non-renewal. So tonight, I am providing you with the staff and the superintendent's recommendation to approve MA's request for charter renewal. In order to determine this recommendation, staff initiated early last school year an external review of Milwaukee Academy of the Arts. It was conducted in alignment with the national charter standards. This external examination included a review of the academic performance, the organizational performance, and the financial performance. Essentially, they got into every nook and cranny of Milwaukee Academy of the Arts to see what was going on. The summary of the findings is included in your board packet. I'll highlight a few. Some of the successes identified were consistent implementation of instructional practices across the arts-based core academic programming, a strong commitment to community among all population groups, and some of the great outcomes were around successful 9th grade on track, fantastic 4-year graduation rates, and those include favorable outcomes for students experiencing poverty, students with disabilities, Hispanic and Latino populations, and underserved race and ethnicities. Some of the challenges, or I know my team here likes to refer to them as opportunities, are largely connected to the interdependence that MA has with Milwaukee High School and the unique issues that brings up for capacity of staff who have a foot in both systems. That can be a challenge. There may be an opportunity to revisit approaches to staffing that could support the needs of both systems that are sustainable. And speaking of sustainable, we certainly want to ensure that enrollment remains stable, and that would, of course, bring about additional funding. So, to prepare for a board discussion, the Milwaukee Academy of the Arts team will be joining us here to share some information. The team tonight includes Erica Fusen. She's the Milwaukee Academy of the Arts coordinator, Danielle McKay, the Milwaukee Academy of the Arts director, and Principal Louis Mayer, principal of Milwaukee Academy of Arts and Milwaukee High School. As a note, so we will be seeking board's action on January 29th. And with that, I'm turning it over to my colleagues from Milwaukee Academy of the Arts.
Thank you, Dr. Richardson. You really just took care of this for us. I like what you said. I don't even know if we need to. I don't know what we need to say now, but I want to say good evening, board members, Superintendent James. We are honored to be here tonight for the request charter renewal for Milwaukee Academy of the Arts. I am the proud principal of Milwaukee Academy of the Arts, and which is a unique situation, historic Milwaukee High School. Doubling up, Ms. McKay, AP Ms. McKay, Director Milwaukee Academy of the Arts, and the assistant principal, and Erica Fusen, coordinator of Milwaukee Academy of the Arts, as she has been most foot in the ground with this program longer than any of us sitting here. Next slide, please. Okay, thank you. Yeah, you did a great job. I mean, you did a fantastic job. So the philosophy of Milwaukee Academy of the Arts is to integrate performing and visual arts throughout a rigorous core academic curriculum in a nurturing environment, supportive to. Together with parents and community, we empower the scholars to reach their innate artistic and creative potential, ensuring that they get their high school diploma. Next slide, please. So the history. It was founded in 2005. It is a charter school within Milwaukee High School, and tuition is free for all 9th through 12th graders in the state of Oregon. In addition to the broad spectrum of arts courses offered, including visual and performing arts, all core courses, social studies, science, language arts, and math, taught by weaving the arts throughout the course and to enhance the student learning. And the result speaks for themselves. As you look at the data from ODE, they rate MA as outstanding, and the scholars consistently meet or exceed the Oregon state standards and benchmarks. MA parents and the scholars report high level of satisfaction with the school experience and with the dedicated teachers. And at this time, I have Assistant Principal McKay to continue our presentation.
All right, thank you, Principal Mayer. Good evening, everybody. It's nice to see you all again. I feel like I was just here last year. I think I was. So I'm going to go over the next few slides for us. The first one has to do with our enrollment data over time. So this is a snapshot of the past 5 years of enrollment data. And the uniqueness with MA and the way we do our cohorts of having cohorts of under 100 really creates this ability to have a sustainable community that students can really connect as they grow together in their 9th, 10th, and 11th grade years. Their core classes remain intact, and so those cohorts have a really unique ability to build on that community and strengthen it over time, working together, collaborating together, and really honoring each other's unique gifts with the arts through their core classes. These are the highlights from the past year. Ryan spoke a little bit about them earlier, but we did want to give the snapshot that came out for ODE at a glance. A couple points to mention: our 9th grade on track rate was over 95%, roughly 8% higher than the Oregon average. Our graduation rate, 88%. Again, another 6 points above the Oregon average. And our class sizes remain small, which again provides the uniqueness of the ability of those cohorts to really grow together, which is, I think nowadays is interesting. We have our 9th grade teams within Milwaukee High School and at all of our high schools, which are really great for building that trust in the community. And with MA, we get to see that through for a few years. Classes at a glance, and this is so funny because one of these images is literally, actually, I think two of them are literally in this room right now. So it was luckily our month for bringing some artwork to the district, so we brought that in last week. And it was, yes, very strategic. I can't take full credit for where all the things are because I'm not quite as creative, but I brought someone with me that had a great eye for where things should go. So we hope you appreciate those. And a lot of this is from some of our core classes. So as was mentioned earlier, we really strive to make this not just an arts academy where it's only in the electives, but how could we infuse that through all of the classes, including the core. And Ms. Fusen has done a fabulous job as the coordinator of really bringing some PD to the staff of trying to make sure, how can we make sure we're incorporating this in math, in language arts, in science, which they have become, like, our staff has done great work. It's really fun to watch the creativity that they bring to it. So these are the classes at a glance. Again, 9th, 10th, and 11th, we have these MA core classes, and 12th grade tends to get a little different because they branch out a little bit. So we lose a little bit of that cohort, but what we are striving to do is presenting them the MA senior capstone. In that senior year, what we would love to see for them to do is to create this portfolio and big project that is based on and is a culmination of their years in MA, allowing them to express their artistic ability while also showing the knowledge they've gained and also doing it in what would be like a real world example of something they may see in the future if they choose to go into the arts. Presenting a portfolio, presenting an art piece, talking about how they came to that. That is the hope, is having this big culminating idea that they can present to staff, to parents, to everybody. We are good on that. Benefits of being a student, again, the core curriculum is taught through an art lens. So they're getting all of those state standards and also having that freedom to be creative with it. We have seen some teachers do poetry, writing songs. Students can make models, they can do art pieces. As you'll see with some of them, there's embroidery. And I think, Ms. Fusen, if I am not mistaken, there are some trickster stories over here that allows them with language arts to present some story they found in some artistic way that is meaningful to them. It is an incredibly inclusive community. Again, I think those small cohorts really lend themselves to that. Collaboration with Milwaukee High School, this is the uniqueness of it, as Mr. Mayor was talking about. It's embedded within our high school, which also allows them access to Sabin Schellenberg, as well as a variety of other programs, clubs, athletics. They get to participate as part of those with Milwaukee High School. It is a small school community. As Mr. Mayor has said before, a lot of them like to eat lunch outside. He likes to call it almost like he's in a Hallmark movie or a Lifetime movie. They're out there enjoying each other and really connecting. We have access to the robust arts program, as well as our electives in-house. We've had some great musicals the last couple of years where our students can really show off. Little Mermaid this year was fantastic. We have a staff commitment to the MA community. They are always looking to how can I increase the level of arts that I'm bringing to these classes to make sure that it's embedded in everything we do. We have dedicated counselors. That's also, it's not just unique to MA, but for Milwaukee and MA. Those counselors move with the students through their years at our school. So they will have the same counselor through their entire high school experience, which really allows to build this trusted relationship with somebody. They know exactly where they're at on their journey to graduation. And they also have an art school diploma. So that can be very beneficial if those students are going to apply to a post-secondary program in college that is very arts-based.
Great job. I don't even know what else to say. Took my words. Well, so the strengths of MA that we see is an inclusive community of artists and right brain learners. I am really highly impressed of how the scholars there could be themselves. It really means a lot to me that they not have to worry about anyone making fun of them, that they could be who they are. I love the vibrant colors they have with their hair. I love the style of dress. I'm always complimenting them. I'm taking some cues too. But just the excitement they have being there, it's something to just witness yourself. I invite you all to come and see for yourselves. It's a place to explore what being an artist means to them themselves. As I said during lunch in the courtyard, Feel like I'm in a Lifetime movie, Fame, set of Fame. You'll see some with their guitars and such, and I'm just looking in amazement, like, I like this. Strong academic achievement, especially in language arts, but also the others. And yesterday, Dr. Callan, she came by yesterday, and we did some walkthroughs and went into a math class. It was a ma, and they were mathing. The conversations they were having, they were debating, they were laughing, hugging each other. It was just amazing. It was a heuristic environment in what you want, self-discovery for learning, what was taking place. Of course, we're promoting going to college, both in and out of the arts. And as Assistant Principal McKay spoke about the capstone course that the seniors have, and the 9th grade team. The teams are kind of like the middle school model. And within the 9th grade team, we have 3 teams. And the MA team, they meet every 3 weeks, and it's for kid data talk. And during this time, implementing the early warning system, we're looking at the ABCs. A for attendance, B for behavior, C for course progress. And what we're doing there is looking at each child to see who might be struggling. So it's a safety net to identify them early so we can provide what interventions, and then revisit in 3 weeks to see if those interventions work. And if they did, we'll keep it. If not, we'll find some more. But it's great that we're identifying them early as opposed to waiting to the end of a semester. Challenges, Sister Principal K said those are opportunities. So our opportunities, my identity within the Milwaukee High School, they are purple, as you can see, rocking the purple today. And Milwaukee is maroon. I've been told I'm kind of a stylish person, and I've been trying to come through with the burgundy and the purple, but it's not gelling right now. But I'm gonna find it though. I'm gonna get there. Yes, it's an opportunity, yes. Enrolling and supporting a diverse student body that reflects the surrounding community, and also promoting to continue sustainable enrollment. That's what we do. Also, all under the auspices of the NCSD mission, vision, and goals. So thank you presenting, and I hope you think highly of renewing the contract for us. And if you have any questions, we would gladly answer them.
All right, thank you so much for your presentation. Directors, do we have any purple questions? Yes, Director Tamtring.
Specifically with the enrollment on that slide, for that first year, it was much higher. What's the difference between then and now?
Yeah. Do you want me to take it or do?
Yes.
Okay. I'm glad to. So we, same thing, right? And this is my 3rd year at this school, and that's why Mr. Mayor also alluded to Ms. Fuson has the most experience in this. But when we were looking at it, that 21-22 school year was the first year we returned from COVID full time, and there were a lot of families looking for alternate programs. What we've noticed that there are many at this point where that dip hits. It looks like there are a lot that are attending their home schools at this point in time, which is also why on those opportunities we were looking at how can we bolster promoting, and I think that was a challenge for us, and I think we've tried to figure that out. And this year at the board meetings we've talked a lot about how do we bolster this promotion, where do we go, how do we make sure that everybody knows about Milwaukee Academy of the Arts throughout the Portland area, to make sure that they know that it is an option for them. Go ahead.
Hi there. Hi, I'm Erica Fuson. I'm really happy to be here. I am the MA coordinator. This is my 3rd year. I also teach the MA English 10 and MA English 11. So I've got a lot of jobs, like all of us. I think that with the families seeking out less, then the burden turned to us in the last couple of years of needing to get the word out about our program. And, we don't have one dedicated person who's just their number one priority is MA. And in terms of promoting and doing those other things that we all kind of have these multiple jobs. And so, but we've been working together really well, and we're doing the best we can with the resources, the human resources that we have to make sure that that people. We also have a really fantastic, mainly new board this year. 5 new board members, and 4 of them are parents of 9th graders. So hopefully we'll have them for at least the next 4 years. And so we developed a new promotions and marketing team. I work with 3 of the board members to do that, and the staff has been really pitching in to just get flyers up and all around town to, encourage the students and the families to post about why they love Ma. And we had record a double the norm of prospective families on our December 9th open house, and we have about 60 RSVPs for February. So things are, and we have 48 applications in already, and and applications aren't due until mid-March. So we're feeling hopeful about this year. We just needed to really push in on the marketing and promotions, and we're trying to do that.
What is the goal? I mean, how many kids in each grade level are you hoping to have?
So according to the charter, the maximum is 400, and classes are supposed to be capped at 33. So technically, I guess 99 per grade level would be our ideal. But really, even if we don't have that exact 99, we would really like to know that we have 3 classes for things like staffing and planning and consistency, and funding requests and all those sorts of things.
All right. Director Olson, yes.
Hi, thanks. I have a follow-up question about recruitment. Can you share with me any strategies that you're using to recruit students of color, students who are English learners, because it seems like those percentages are quite not equitable to like your host school at least.
Yeah, absolutely. Sorry. Hello. Okay. Yeah. So one of the things that we've been doing is working to make sure that students who are representing us in the open houses are reflecting our larger school community. And we can't directly reach out to PPS. We can reach out to their PTSA, but we can't reach out to their administrators and say, send your children to us. Although the students do come, but we are establishing relationships with some counselors and other and expressing trying to express a vision of Ma that will really entice a diverse student body. One of the things that we were working on developing was a dance program, but we had to cut that because of our FTA cuts last year. We lost 4 positions. And so some of the things that we've done to try to improve, and music recording, we have some other things that we thought could just attract teenagers in general, and those classes have needed to be cut. And so we're working on trying to figure out the best ways to continue to reach out and make connections. And there are some community connections that we're working on and working with the counselors. We're going to see Rao next week. And so I've been working with the 8th grade English teachers over there to make sure to send students to find out more about Ma. And so that's mainly what we've been doing so far.
All right. Do we
Also,
have
one more thing. We do have flyers that being strategic and putting it in certain neighborhoods, as I live in Portland, putting it certain places, coffee houses, where others can find out what Ma is. And so we're trying different ways. We are continuous quality improvement. We're thinking of ways of how to get the message out about Ma. Yes.
All right. Thank you. Did you have a question? Director Dobson.
Thank you so much for that presentation, and it's really delightful to hear your description of the students and the joy and the creativity. And I think it's one thing we all love and try to embrace about our public charter model is just that flexibility and creativity that it can bring into the, into the walls of a traditional brick and mortar school. So congratulations. I do have one question for you as I was scrolling through your review, and that is in the recommendations piece. It says recommended review the current model of coordination. And I just wondered if anybody could tell me a little bit about what that means.
Can you say, I didn't hear, I'm sorry.
Review the current model of coordination was one of the recommendations at the end of your report.
Do you want to get that, Ryan, or? Okay.
Yeah, so, and what you're really starting to get at is part of phase 2. But examining and looking at the contract and what are the resources that we have. So part of it is looking at the resources embedded in the contract that are named. Part of it is internally looking at the team and the duties assigned and saying, can we reevaluate and get creative with how we're allocating our time and resources? And so that was from the auditor that came in, and their recommendation is just to reconsider how we can, it goes back to those folks that have a foot in both programs, and how can we rethink how they operate so that somebody might be able to focus more on MA. And again, they were coming in with an audit focused on MA, so that makes sense.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, thank you. Are there any other questions or comments, Director Kemp?
On the attendance, I guess I didn't realize the school drew from a wider area, so I don't know. Like on the does not meet on that page 96 in the board book, attendance was noted on there, but and then let me just go back to the other. And I don't know if that, I know there's been other plans to increase attendance in other schools in the district, and I don't know if you attribute some of the low attendance to the transportation issue.
I can start, and then do you want to add? That's a really good question. So you're right, because some of our students do come from different areas, and if they are out of our district, they do have to provide their own transportation. We do know that there are some students that we are conveniently located right on the MAX line. And so we do know that there are some students that will take the MAX line in. I would say that while transportation can be challenging, I don't know, and I would have to dig in a little bit more to see exactly how much of it is caused by that specific thing, and I am glad to dig into that and see.
I didn't realize the school was right on Max.
We are right,
Certainly
literally
helps,
out the
but-
back door. Yeah,
Yeah.
It does help a lot. And the beauty of, like, when we do have a student, let's say that is from Clackamas High School, that would like to attend MA, we do have a means of transportation from their home school to us. There is a little delay of what time they arrive and what time they have to leave just because of the logistics of it. But they spend the vast majority of the day there. And so that we are very lucky to at least have that transportation taken care of for any of our in-district students that would like to be part of MA.
I assume that's similar to what they do with Save and Schellenberg for the transportation.
Yes, I mean, yes, it's similar, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
It's worth noting that most schools at that metric, schools across the state are in the do not meet category. I mean, there's a issue across the state, and I actually think the MA data is actually better than the state average when it comes to that.
Okay.
So it's something that there's no excuse. It's something that they're paying close attention to. We're all paying close attention to it across the district. Yeah.
Yeah, and I would say that while on our ODE, when we got the data from this year, yes, we are still, as Ryan's saying, like, we know it's an issue across, I think, even nationwide. But with last year's on the data, we had a 3% increase in attendance rate. So while I know 3% is small, it's movement in the right direction, and we're now at the Oregon average. So hopefully we can continue to build on that.
Well, and I guess part of the reason I was asking the question is because the graduation rates and the on track to graduate are good, and just thinking how much better that might improve with a more regular attendance. Thank you for the report.
All right, thank you. Director Wachter, Director McVeigh, are there any questions?
None from me. Thank you.
None for me, thanks.
All right, thank you. I do have two quick questions. One quick thing about TriMet. Because PPS and Park Rose, they get the TriMet emblem or whatever on their student body cards, so they can use that for back and forth. I believe we have TriMet passes for summer, but do our kids get TriMet for free during the school year as well? They do not yet, right? It's just the
Our
summer?
engagement specialist does distribute passes for TriMet, so they do.
Okay, so it's not automatic, but we do have some, correct?
We will
Okay.
provide it, yes.
Yes,
Oh,
if
okay.
students are in need, we do have passes.
Okay,
that
because
we
like
can give them.
PPS and Park Rose, it's like automatic with their student body card, right? Okay, just
The-
wanted to check on that. And
The
really,
MHS students have priority on those passes, so.
Pardon?
The MHS students have priority on the daily
oh,
passes.
okay, all right. That's good to know. All right, thank you.
Standing. Oh, okay.
Okay. And then just about enrollment, how many kids are our kids anyway? And how many kids are actually coming from outside the district?
Well, last when we checked, 60% were coming from Rao, opposed to 40% outside of the district.
Yeah.
Outside of North Clackamas?
Yes.
Outside of North
Okay.
Clackamas, so 60% North
Excellent.
Clackamas, 40%.
I mean, that's good. I've seen, I believe I've seen like a big white lit up banner type thing at Clackamas Town Center. I think there used to be a MA advertisement. So I know that there's been different things that have been done. So I appreciate that because we can tell. And one quick thing, I also noticed that it went from like 55 at freshman year to 75 by senior year. Are you finding that kids find out about it a little bit later and then join in like the sophomore, junior year because they didn't know about it when they were freshmen?
Yeah, that was, I believe that statistic was the same year, so it wasn't necessarily rising in that way, but we had 15 new 10th graders this year. So we actually moved from 2 classes to 3 classes in terms of their core classes from 9th to 10th grade. So the word of mouth in the 9th grade sort of zeitgeist of, North Clackamas and Portland and the general area has definitely been getting out there as like, maybe they try their neighborhood school, maybe it's not a good fit for a variety of reasons, and they hear from each other about MA and then transfer in, which we're, encouraging if that's, if it's going to be a better fit for them. Absolutely.
All right, excellent. Well, thank you so much. Well, I do not believe we have any further questions, but thank you so much for the presentation, for answering our questions, and for all of your dedication to your artists. We appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
So now we move on to the public hearing. So next on the agenda is the Milwaukee Academy of the Arts Renewal Public Hearing. Charter renewal public hearing. On December 19th, 2025, Milwaukee Academy of the Arts provided North Clackamas School District with a request for a charter renewal. As per ORS 338.065, the North Clackamas School Board shall hold a public hearing regarding this request for charter renewal. Time is set aside for a public hearing to address Milwaukee Academy of the Arts renewal, and I open the public hearing now. And we have not received any requests to speak, so the hearing is now closed. All right, thank you. There we go. We're going to gavel that because the hearing is closed. That's right. All right. So the tough part of the agenda, yes, there we go. So next on the agenda is Budget Committee vacancies and appointments. I welcome Executive Director of Finance and Business Services, Matt McCara.
Good evening, Board. Tonight, I am bringing forward a discussion action item for the purpose of declaring Budget Committee Position 13 vacant and subsequently appointing a representative from the Educational Equity Committee. Board policy states that the school district board must select at least one member of the District Equity Committee to serve on the school district budget committee. The member who had been in position 13 previously as a representative of the Educational Equity Committee is no longer a member of that body and subsequently no longer able to serve in that capacity on the Budget Committee. There are two steps to this process. The first is declaring Budget Committee position 13 vacant. Then the board may proceed to appoint Eric Solomon, who has been put forward as the representative from the Educational Equity Committee. The board may choose to appoint Eric to the position or postpone an appointment to a later date. I would be happy to answer any questions the board may have.
All right, directors, do we have any questions about the process? Any questions at all for Matt? All right, so the first thing we need, oh, Samantha, you have a quick question? Yep.
Did they request to be on the committee, or were they chosen, or how did that?
Yeah, I believe there were a couple different members of the Educational Equity Committee that did express an interest in serving, and Eric was the choice that was made amongst the committee to serve as their representative.
All right, so we first need a motion to approve Budget Committee position 13 and declaring it vacant. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Excellent. It's been moved. Do we have a second? So it's been moved by Director McVeigh and seconded by Director Dobson that we declare Budget Committee position 13 vacant. I call for a vote on the motion. All those in favor, aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, no. Excellent. The motion passes 7-0. So position 13 is now vacant. We do have someone who expressed interest and was chosen by the committee, Eric Solomon, to now be appointed from the Educational Equity Committee.
Yes.
Which committee? Yes?
Yes, the Educational Equity Committee.
Which we are required to have on the Budget Committee. So do we have a motion to appoint Eric Solomon?
Motion to approve.
Is there a second?
Wachter, second.
It's been properly moved by Director McVeigh and seconded by Director Wachter. That we appoint Eric Solomon to position 13 on the North Clackamas School District Budget Committee. I call for a vote on the motion. All those in favor, aye.
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 All those opposed, no. Motion passes with a vote of 7-0. Excellent. Thank you. Next on the agenda is ending fund balance. I welcome Chief of Staff Tiffany Shireman and Executive Director of Finance and Business Services, Matt McCara.
All right, good evening, all. It is my pleasure to be here tonight with Executive Director McCara. We are coming back to you. At the last board meeting, we provided a presentation regarding ending fund balance and that policy. Tonight, we are seeking your action on policy modifications. So a reminder that during the presentation last board meeting, the board discussed the policy language and reviewed some initial policy language changes that we brought forward. During that discussion, it was suggested by the board, multiple members of the board, that the percentages in the policy be further modified. So tonight, you'll see in your board packet that we're returning with the requested language as modified per that discussion. Those modifications were that a minimum fund balance of 10% of total adopted resources, and then that the board would receive reports from the superintendent or their designee when the fund balance is expected to drop below 8. So going back to the numbers from last meeting, the draft includes 10 and 8. So those updated policy drafts are in your board packet, and we're looking for your action tonight. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Yes, directors, do we have any questions or comments about the changes to this policy?
Motion to approve.
As always, Director McVeigh. It's been moved by Director McVeigh. Do we have a second?
Second.
It's been moved by Director McVeigh and seconded by Director Dobson that we approve the changes to policy DBDB, the fund balance. I will call for a vote on the motion. All those in favor, aye.
Can we have a discussion?
Oh, yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. Is there a discussion?
I just want to say thank you to the district for leaning into this. We heard earlier that the teachers were worried about class sizes and whatnot, and this will help preserve that and protect us as our funding mechanisms from the state is always at risk. And I'm very happy we're moving in this direction.
And I will piggyback a little bit on what Director McVeigh just said. And I was just speaking to someone about this, that we are in the financial position that we are in because of the stewardship of several years ago, right? So this isn't just a now thing. This is also to protect and preserve and to be the financial stewards for many years to come. We are in the place that we're in because of that stewardship 8 and 10 years ago, and now we are looking 8 to 10 years in the future and really just shoring up where we are as a district and placing future school boards and future superintendents and future executive directors in a wonderful place to also be able to lead the district. So just wanted to put that out there as well. And I appreciate all of the work and also, the willingness of the board to really look at what the ending fund balance means to the district and why it's important, and really seeing the value in being that financial steward for years to come. All right. Is there any further discussion or questions or comments? All right. Excellent. We will now vote on the motion. All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
All those
Aye.
opposed? Did we get Director McVeigh? All right.
Yeah.
All those opposed? All right. The motion passes with a vote of 7-0. Thank you so much. And before we adjourn, there's lots of birthdays today. Martin Luther King, Dr. Martin Luther King is one of them. But there's another birthday today of Ada Limon, and she's the first Latina poet laureate of the United States. She found her love of poetry in high school. And she went to UW. For those of you Washington fans, she went to University of Washington. And I found a beautiful poem of hers. It's really about grounding yourself to your community and to the earth. And this is an excerpt from one of her poems called Startlement. And it says, "We now know we were never at the circle center. Instead, all around us, something is living, trying to live. The world says, what are we becoming? We are becoming together. The world says one type of dream has ended and another has just begun. And the world says that once we were separate, now we must move in unison." So thank you so much for joining us for our first meeting of 2026. It is now 7:53 p.m. and this public meeting of the North Clackamas School District Board of Directors is adjourned. Have a good evening.